I'm just wondering what your department might be doing at the moment to investigate all the countries in the world that have a death penalty and whether we should have such a deal in place with those as well.
Thank you for the question. It's a very sobering and important question. Australia opposes the death penalty being imposed on Australian citizens, whether at home or abroad. And what I find so profoundly sad about the current situation is that Indonesia opposes the death penalty as it applies to its citizens who find themselves on death row abroad, but apparently don't oppose it for Australian citizens in Indonesia. Not only Australian citizens, but a number of other nationalities as well. And I didn't propose anything specific on a prisoner transfer because there are all sorts of legalities involved in this, but we do have an international transfer legislation. Indonesia has a presidential decree, so there are opportunities for us to explore what we could do. My aim throughout all of this is to seek a stay of execution for two men who have shown immense remorse for their very serious crimes, who have truly rehabilitated. And Indonesia is about to deprive other prisoners in their jail system of two role models who have been rehabilitated after 10 years in the Indonesian prison system. There are countries around the world who would be proud to claim that they can rehabilitate serious drug offenders. And so I'm not asking Indonesia to do any more than Indonesia asks other countries. So my appeal, again, is to President Widodo to show mercy, humanity, forgiveness and spare the lives of these two Australians. Around the world, the death penalty is in place in a number of countries, in the United States, in a number of states, in a number of countries in our region. But I believe in this day and age that there is no purpose to be served by a state-sponsored execution of people who have been rehabilitated in the most extraordinary way. So I will continue to make that plea. For as long as I have to, I'll continue to appeal to the Indonesian president that he show mercy to these two Australians.
Okay, so Indonesia militates against the use of the death penalty against their citizens, and yet they maintain it. There seems to be no prospect of a back down.
Well, I'm not going to give up hope. While they're still alive, I will continue to make representations as we are across government. At every level, across all the Indonesian departments and the Indonesian ministers, the Australian government's counterparts will continue to do that. And we're joined by other nations whose citizens are also facing death by firing squad. And we're working very hard, leaving no stone unturned in our efforts to ensure that we can seek a permanent stay of execution for them. I just can find no good purpose to be served by killing these two men after 10 years, and in jail they're making a positive contribution to the life of other prisoners. They are involved in the rehabilitation of other prisoners. Andrew Chan is now a pastor. He's got a theology degree. He is providing a spiritual nourishment to other prisoners. Mayuran Sukumaran is now an accomplished artist, and he's taking art classes, master classes in art. And I just think that it would be a terrible injustice if these men were to pay for their crimes with their lives. Yes, they are paying for their crimes, they're repaying their debt to society, but they shouldn't have to pay with their lives.
So why do countries with the death penalty hold on to it? And I'm going to ask you, Roxanne, because you live in one of those countries, the US.
Yes, and I speak for the entire country. That's an excellent question. And I'm actually very opposed to the death penalty. And one of the encouraging things I think about the United States is that many states do not support the death penalty, and it's on hold in other states. I think it's because there are many people who believe in an eye for an eye, and who believe that if you commit certain crimes, death is the only reasonable recourse. And I don't understand that, because that's not real justice. The victims don't really derive any satisfaction from that sort of thing, but I think it's really just holding on to very old ideas about justice and thinking that the state can sanction murder.